Hi everybody, welcome back to this week's My Weekly Rage Fix. This week's Parsha is Parshas Korach. No, I am not in Israel. I pre-recorded this before I left. But in this week's Parsha, we learn about the unfortunate tragedy that happened with Korach and his cronies. And we discussed it a little bit last year. But the question is, why did it happen? And what exactly was Korach thinking, going and arguing, fighting with Moshe Rabbeinu? So a lot of times when people have a fight, they say, "What do you mean? I'm doing this for for a greater ideal, a greater sake, for the sake of heaven, and I'm going to be staunch in my position." So right away, when somebody feels like that, you have to ask yourself two questions. First of all, are you staunch when it comes to other righteous things, or this is like your pick and choose? Second of all, you should also think, who exactly am I learning this from? Where do I have a tradition that I should be taking this stand? If the answer is that it's really coming from nothing, then you're probably being driven by another desire or another character trait, whether it's your gaiva, your prideness, or whether you have a lack in humility, or whether it's something else to try, whether it's a jealousy, whatever it might be. You always got to check yourself. Now the Mishnah tells us in the ethics of our fathers, it tells us what is a argument, what is a discussion that is not for the sake of heaven. An argument that is not for the sake of heaven is like Korach va'adaso, it's like Korach and his congregants. So the question is, what do you mean like Korach and his congregants? It sure said like Korach and Moses. That was the argument. The argument was Korach and against Moshe Rabbeinu. So I'd say Korach and his people. The answer is that when you're off track even among your own party. You already have fights in and amongst yourselves, what to do, how to do it, and it's all based on a lack of real, true leadership. And the real reason why there's a lack of true leadership is because there's something lacking overall in the group. The group that Korach was a group that was being fed by their jealousy, or it's a little too much pride, and they thought that Moshe was taking too much honors for himself. Now we have to give a little apology to Korach. I'm talking about him like he's my next door neighbor or something. He was an incredibly lofty person, incredible spiritual person, and it was actually a big to-do. And even Korach's own people didn't know who to side with. But the lesson I want to share with you is that whenever you're trying to take a side, and trying to figure out why you're taking a side. Are you taking a side because this is how you have a tradition from your father or from your teachers? Or are you taking a side just because? Or do you think that there's some other ulterior motive? So we have to know who we pick our battles with, and especially if the person happens to be the great Moses, who Hashem obviously had wrought many miracles through. He was not the person that brought the miracle, but Hashem wrought many miracles through him. But that's how we have to think, and we should pick our battles and make sure to pick our battles correctly. Have a great Shabboss. Take care.